Have you ever heard a strange noise in your house when you knew you were alone? A floorboard creaking upstairs, a whisper in the hallway, or a door slamming shut for no reason? Most of the time, it's just the house settling or the wind. But sometimes, it's something else. Today, we're diving into some chilling, true-life haunted house stories that might just make you sleep with the lights on. These aren't just spooky tales. They're real experiences from people just like you and me. Our first story comes from a family who moved into a beautiful, old Victorian home in a quiet New England town. They were thrilled to restore the house to its former glory. But soon after they moved in, strange things started happening. It began with small incidents, misplaced keys, objects moving on their own. They'd leave a room and come back to find chairs rearranged or cabinet doors wide open. At first, they blamed it on their own forgetfulness. But then, the activity escalated. They started hearing footsteps at night, pacing back and forth in the empty attic. Their youngest daughter began talking to an imaginary friend she called the Man in the Hat. She described him in detail. A tall, shadowy figure with a wide-brimmed hat. The parents were unnerved, but tried to rationalize it as a child's act of imagination. That is, until the father saw him. One evening, while working late in his study, he caught a glimpse of a tall, dark figure standing in the doorway, exactly as his daughter had described. When he blinked, it was gone. The air grew cold, and a sense of dread filled the room. The final straw came one night when the entire family was woken up by the sound of a woman crying. The sorrowful sobs echoed through the house, seeming to come from everywhere at once. They searched every room, but found nothing. Terrified, they spent the rest of the night huddled together in the living room. The next morning, they contacted a local historian and learned that a woman had taken her own life in the attic. A century earlier, heartbroken over a lost love, they had moved into her home. Unable to live with the constant fear, the family moved out just a few months after they arrived, leaving the house to its sorrowful residents. Next, we journeyed to the sunny state of California, to a suburban home that looked perfectly normal from the outside. A young couple, Mark and Sarah, bought it as their first home. The initial weeks were blissful, but one evening, while watching TV, the screen suddenly went to static. At the same time, all the lights in the house began to flicker violently. They checked the circuit breaker, but everything seemed fine. It was just a one-time glitch, they thought. They were wrong. The electrical disturbances became a nightly occurrence. Appliances would turn on and off by themselves. The radio would blast static at full volume in the middle of the night. Mark, a bit of a tech guy, rewired parts of the house, but nothing helped. Then came the voices. Faint whispers would emanate from the static of the TV and radio. They couldn't make out the words, but the tone was menacing. Sarah started having vivid nightmares of an angry man shouting at her, his face distorted with rage. Driven to their wits' end, they invited a paranormal investigation team to the house. The investigators brought in their equipment, and the results were immediate and terrifying. Their EMF meters went wild, and they captured clear EVP's electronic voice phenomena. Through the static, a single, chillin' phrase was recorded over and over. Get out. Research into the property's history revealed a dark secret. The previous owner had been a reclusive amateur radio enthusiast who had passed away in the house. Neighbors described him as hostile and intensely private. It seemed he wasn't happy about having new people in his space, even after his death. Mark and Sarah sold the house at a loss, desperate to escape the angry spirit that haunted their home through the very wires in the walls. These stories remind us that sometimes the past doesn't stay buried. The walls of a home can hold more than just memories. They can hold echoes of lives lived, and sometimes those echoes can be heard loud and clear. What do you think? Have you ever had a paranormal experience in your own home? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed these spooky stories, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Stay safe out there